Hello.
Then, now,
Showdown to the queens.
Episode number 500.
forever,
Looks like hell froze over.
Without any more further ado,
together.
let's jump straight into the show. With a historic night one now behind us, it's time to kick off the second night of WrestleMania. Starting with three young men making their debuts on the grandest stage of them all here in Las Vegas. There you see Javon Evans, Leon Slater, Cappuccino Jones. Three young OGs looking for a big breakout on the big stage here tonight.
The following contest is a six-man tag team match. On the way to the ring, at a combined weight of 603 pounds, Leon Slater, and Javon Evans.
Of course, the Quan Sugars originally teaming with Leon Slater and Javon Evans in that Trios Championship tournament. But an unfortunate injury took him out of action. That's when Cappuccino Jones stepped up. He overheard Leon and Javon talking about needing a third. And he said, "Tag me in. I'd love to show the world what I can do on the grandest stage of them all." And here he is tonight, the Young OGs defeating the NXT Japan trio to get ourselves here tonight for a shot for them to become champions at the young age. I believe 20 years old, both Javon Evans and Leon Slater. Maybe a few years older as Cappuccino Jones, but still three very young competitors with bright futures, and tonight could be their breakout moment. But of course, it's not even mere mortals standing in their way. They got two mere mortals and a god holding this division down.
And their opponents, at a combined weight of 598 pounds, the WWE Cruiserweight Tag Team Champions, from Rick Strongman, Kyle O'Ivy, and Bobby Fischer, the Undead.
Of course, it was a few months ago, the Undisputed Era, they put their differences aside. They came back together to help Adam Cole, baby, fight the Paragon. Of course, Adam Cole, will see him to later on tonight on the main show as part of that four-way for the television championship. But as for Kyle, Bobby, and Roddy, they're here tonight defending their trios championships. Recently capturing those champions from LA Extreme. LA Extreme now, full-time on Raw. Need to be looking for some new faces to step up in the Cruiserweight division. And who better than the three young OGs that look to make their mark in the division here tonight against three incredible veterans, former tag team champions, of course Kyle O'Reilly, former television champion, and Adam Cole. He's not here with them, but his resume speaks for itself. And tonight is a big night. So here we are, WrestleMania Night 2 kickoff, and we get things underway with a high-flying, crazy Cruiserweight Trios Championship match. It gets a 79. It's actually really good considering, Cappuccino Jones is not popular at all, and Bobby Fish is old and not very popular, but Javon and Leon both get 77. Well, Javon gets a 77, Leon gets a 72, and Roddy gets a 77. But then, of course, the god, Kyle O'Reilly, still doing his thing, still doing his omnipotence from, him not having the robe and halo and wings from last year doesn't mean his god powers have diminished. He's doing his thing in this trio, and he has carried this to a 79 because he gets a 94. The god, dormant but not dead. And yeah, the young OGs, three young men with bright futures competing in their first WrestleMania, but unfortunately, naivety could have got the better of them tonight because the Undisputed Era do retain here tonight. Kyle O'Reilly pinning Cappuccino Jones with a brainbuster in 12:39. 33 for Cappuccino, 72 for Leon. I've been over all of them, yeah. But yes, the young OGs having a fill-in, because obviously we're supposed to be Saquon Sugars in there with Javon and Leon. So Cappuccino Jones, I'd have shoved him in there late because I need another cool, young guy to fit the crew. But, yeah. Actually, I'm going to use, because now I've got a story to play off of in the Cruiserweight division in regards to Shaquan and all this stuff. So there's actually some stuff on Velocity when he gets back that I'm quite looking forward to doing. And it required the young OGs to not be the champions, so they're not. And the UE, of course, Kyle O'Reilly specifically, still putting out these numbers, you know. The backbone of Velocity, they could be going forward. Them and Gargano, you know. Black and gold babies running Velocity. It's in good hands because this database is from 2020, so the black and gold babies are all really good. So, like, yeah, they can hold the fort down on Velocity and, like, you know, really help stabilize the brand is my way of thinking. Like, while LA Extreme went to Raw, you know, Gargano's going to be appearing on SmackDown. The UE are going to be appearing on ECW because Adam Cole's there, and, you know, this just felt like the right thing to do, like, just to have these high-scoring champions that we all know, that I know can score good ratings, sort of hold the fort down for Velocity heading into the next season. So the UE still the Cruiserweight Trios champions. Of course, our congratulations still going out to Buster Gates for his victory. He'll get a future champion opportunity against either Bobby Lashley or Sami Zayn. But now it's the girls' turn.
The following is an 8-woman battle royal. Making her way to the ring from Elmwood Park, New Jersey, Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan is somebody she had a number of tag team competitors by her side in recent years, but she sort of struggled to find her feet on ECW recently, and she would love nothing more than perhaps her old friend Ruby Riott to retain the championship later on tonight, so she gets another crack at her if she wins here tonight. But there's a lot of challenges in this match.
Representing the Queens from Japan,
Of course, people who can't be overlooked are, of course, Yoko Ihara, Saya Kamatani, and Julia. You know, while Queen of Omega had an awful night last night at WrestleMania, Utami losing that Women's World Championship to Io Sky in the main event of Night 1, as well as the Megasis losing the Women's Liberty Championship to Kairi Sane. Queen of Omega looking to still get a stranglehold in that title, and what better way to do that than for one of their other members to earn a shot at Io, the first shot at Io coming out of WrestleMania.
from Juarez, Chihuahua, Mexico,
Thunder Rosa, another superstar who's only been here for around about a month on ECW. She burst onto the scene during the European tour, and she's already got her eyes on Florence. Should Florence win later on tonight, they've had a bit of friendly back and forth. It'd be great to see those two go at it for a world championship in this promotion after their previous history elsewhere.
and representing Bad Influence from Queens, New York,
Fallon Henley and Zelina Vega are Fatal Influence. They have been on the cusp of breaking out on SmackDown over the past few months, and Zelina Vega and Fallon both in this match. Can one of them finally get their opportunity at a world championship? There's two of them, which is more than most women in this match, but unfortunately for them, these women have slightly higher numbers than that.
representing the Queens from Japan,
Saya Kamatani, the newest, well not newest, was the Megasis, but member of Queen of Omega, the least established here on SmackDown, looks to finally break out of her spot in the group. Could she be the next one in line to face up against Io Sky? You know, she's been torturing Io for the past few months as part of this build to WrestleMania. Let's see if she can break out. But speaking of breaking out, no one has a better chance to do that than this woman right here.
from Austin, Texas,
Jordan Grace, even less time around here than Thunder Rosa. It was only like 3 weeks ago she made her debut on SmackDown, and she's already looking like one of the breakout stars to watch on the blue brand of the next year. She's defeated Zelina Vega and Fallon Henley of Fatal Influence. Could tonight be her night to earn an almost immediate title shot? But she's got to go through 39 other women, including this woman, who many look at as the favorite heading into tonight.
representing the Queens from Tokyo, Japan,
Now, as I said with both Yoko and Saya, as they were entering this battle royal, the Queen of Omega would love to get the first opportunity at Io's championship, and Julia does have a victory over Io. Well, you never know who's going to be at the WrestleMania. The former Raw General Manager, Eve Torres. We've not seen her for a while, apart from a one-off appearance on the Royal Rumble, but she's here tonight at WrestleMania. She's in this Women's Battle Royal, and if she could go all the way, we could see our former Raw GM becoming WWE Women's Champion. So, of course, Bianca Belair won that championship. We're talking about Io, we're talking about the ECW Championship. We haven't mentioned Bianca and her title, who could also be a target for Eve and anyone else in this Battle Royal should she become victorious here in Vegas. The WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal is next up. Of course, we saw Buster Gates win the men's Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal last night to gain himself a future World Championship opportunity against either Sami Zayn or Bobby Lashley. And tonight we're going to see which woman gets a future shot at a championship. The entire lineup of 40 consists of Adriana Rizzo, Alba Fire, Anne-Marie Porter, Ali Maikawa, Ariana Grace, Carmella, Chelsea Green, Deonna Purrazzo, Eve Torres, Fallon Henley, Julia, Hams Katana, Iona Webb, Ivy Nile, JC Jane, Jakara Jackson, Jordan Grace, Kelsey Cook, Kenzie Page, Killer Kelly, Kylie Page, Liv Morgan, Mariah May, Marika, Mina Shirakawa, Mizuki, Morgan Daniels, Saya Kamatani, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi Blackheart, Sol Ruca, Billy Starks, Tam, Thea Hale, Thunder Rosa, Victoria Shields, Yoko Uehara, Zeta Steele, Zelina Vega, and Zoe Stark. Remember all them. Well, you don't have to, because hopefully the graphics actually work this year, and I'm actually looking at the graphics I made. But yes, the first elimination is our good friend Shotzi. She is obviously still not all there, and she tries to make a name for herself. She tries to jump Jordan Grace to kickstart the match, and Jordan quickly eliminates Shotzi. So she's going through a real rough time right now, and yeah, hopefully there'll be a turnaround for her soon. I mean, I know the answer, but hopefully there will be. But yes, Shotzi, the first woman out, Jordan Grace eliminating Shotzi. Next out, Jakara Jackson gets rid of Adriana Rizzo, to sort of cap off, give her a nice victory, because she took all the pins on behalf of Bianca in the build-up to the triple threat, so she also needs to get her revenge on the D'Angelo family, so she eliminates Rizzo. Next up, Eve Torres eliminates Kylie Page, and then Thunder Rosa eliminates Iona Webb. We then see, the remaining three members of Club Venus, they start taking apart the J-Flow girls, being Marika, Mizuki, and Tam. But they forget there is a secret fourth member of J-Flow in this match, that being Chelsea Green. And Chelsea, she gets in there, she makes the save for her stable mates, and she even eliminates Victoria Shields in the match. As she's celebrating, she goes crazy, she sees Mina and Kylie beating up Mizuki. She goes to swing, they duck, and she accidentally hits Marika and accidentally eliminates her own J-Flow teammate. And she's shocked, and it's no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. So Chelsea Green getting ahead of herself, celebrating her elimination, but then accidentally eliminates a stablemate. Next up, we see the Learning Tree girls, Morgan Daniels and Zeta Steele, teaming up to eliminate Anne-Marie Porter. And then, speaking of team-ups, the Free Queendom girls, Yoko, Julia, Saya, they work together to eliminate Ariana Grace. We then see Mina Shirakawa. She eliminates Jakara Jackson from the match. And as she does, she starts celebrating, the only way Mina can, shaking her boobs around and doing her dance, which infuriates one Zoe Stark. And she sort of gets in the face of Mina, and she gets angry. She goes, what the fuck are you doing, her? What's this? This isn't a dance contest, this is a wrestling match, okay? Stop doing that. And then Eve Torres takes Zoe Stark down. Eve hits the booty-popping moonsault on Zoe Stark, and Zoe eventually does get up, and she gets in Eve's face. She attacks Eve, and she eliminates Eve to a chorus of boos. And she sort of mouths off at her, after goes, yeah, that's right, bitch, take that shit somewhere else. Then when she turns around, Soul Snatcher out of midair, and Sol Ruca eliminates her former tag team partner to a big pop. But they get a little crazy little combination of eliminations coming up in one swoop, because Morgan and Zeta start a fight with Hams and Thea of Chase U, which ends with the two Chase U girls eliminating the two Learning Tree girls, Hams eliminating her former partner, and Thea eliminating Zeta Steele. And then as that happens, Mina and Kylie jump the Chase U girls, which ends with Mina Shirakawa eliminating Hams. And then the remaining J-Flow girls getting on this, Tam eliminating Kenzie Page, and then Mina Shirakawa also eliminating Mizuki, and then as Mina turns around, Chelsea Green flies back in. She eliminates Mina. She's going crazy again because she's helped her, well, I guess one remaining stalemate in Tam at this point. And then Fallon Henley quickly eliminates Chelsea Green. So yeah, a nice chunk of the SmackDown mid-card division. Well, not SmackDown because Club Venus are on Raw even. But that's a nice chunk of the Heat regulars, basically, is what they are. Next up, another Queendom Omega combination. Julia, Siren, Yoko work together to eliminate Killer Kelly. Then we have Carmella. She's eliminated by the NXT Women's Champion, Deonna Purrazzo. And then Ivy Nile eliminates JC Jane. Kelsey Cook eliminates Deonna Purrazzo. And Liv Morgan eliminates Ivy Nile. Next up, Thunder Rosa. She eliminates Mariah May. Then, Colton, cover your ears. Fallon Henley and Zelina Vega work together to eliminate Thea Hale. And Julia, she goes stiff mode. She knees Tam in the face. And she eliminates the final J-Flow member from the match. We then see Fatal Influence working together. They're trying to fight Jordan Grace. Jordan manages to overpower them. She picks them both up in a gorilla press at the same time in a big feat of strength, dumping them both out of the ring at the same time. So Zelina and Fallon both gone. Then Alba Fire eliminates Billy Starks, and Liv Morgan eliminates Kelsey Cook. We then see Julia, Yoko, and Saya again working together to eliminate Aoi Maikawa. And then Shayna Baszler, she hulks up. She starts trying to fight off all the Queen of Omega girls. Alba Fire gets involved. Shayna Baszler tosses her out. Liv Morgan also gets tossed out by Shayna Baszler. And then finally she sticks a knee in Yoko. And she eliminates Yoko Uehara from the match. The first Queen of Omega girl eliminated here. Then Sol Ruca is the next to go. Saya, does her little tricks to get her out. And then when Saya turns around, Jordan Grace flies in with a big clothesline, and Saya is also eliminated. So we have our final four, which is Julia, Jordan Grace, Shayna Baszler, and Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa is the next out. Shayna Baszler eliminates her. And then our final three is Julia, Jordan, and Shayna. Julia, she avenges Queendom Omega's recent rivalry with Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler is eliminated. And our final two is Jordan Grace and Julia. We won a short little match between the two, They hit their big moves and neck bumps from their NXT match IRL. And then, Jordan picks up Julia on her shoulders. Julia slips out of the back, hits that Arrivederci knee, hits that Northern Lights bomb. And then Julia eliminates Jordan Grace to earn herself a shot at the World Championship. Which is very convenient because, guess who the new Women's World Champion is? A woman she actually beat earlier this year, but then lost to a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown. But yeah, Julia, next up for a World Championship opportunity. So that should be interesting, especially considering, Utami just lost. She's going to want another shot, but it's Julia, the member of Queen Omega, who has that opportunity. Next up is our final pre-show match, not one we were expecting, because there's been a bit of a change of plan in regards to it.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the $1 Million Championship!
Okay, so this right here is a very, very strange situation because this is not who we should be seeing competing here tonight. Now Naomi, she's been rather aggressive and rather assertive with the $1 Million Champion Kathy Cole in recent weeks, ever since it was announced that her tag team partner Shantae Washington would be challenging Kathy Cole for the championship here tonight. But last night on the kickoff show, Naomi found Shantae attacked backstage and put the blame on Next Gen's Nene Yarazawa. The muscle of Next Gen in many ways. But Shantae is unable to compete tonight for her regularly scheduled Liberty Championship match, and Naomi gets another shot here tonight. She recently came up short against Kathy on ECW, but Naomi's going to have vengeance on her mind. And one thing that she does have over Kathy tonight is that Kathy was preparing for Shantae, and Naomi is a very different kind of wrestler to Shantae Washington. So if Kathy was preparing for a powerful game from Shantae, she's going to have to change up all of her strategy heading into this, because this isn't the opponent she thought she was going to have to face. And I don't think any of us thought that this would be the situation either, but unfortunately things happen here in this industry, and an opportunity on the grandest stage of them all robbed from Shantae Washington, so Naomi does have that, you know, along with being $1 million champion, her first singles goal she'll hold since her return to the main roster from NXT a couple of years ago. So there's a lot on the line for Naomi here tonight. Vengeance at the forefront of it all. But of course, Kathy Cool, you know, she's had a change of heart recent months, going back even before she beat Sasha Banks for the $1 million championship, because she was tired of being her and Next Gen being Sasha's pawns, along with Kiana James. And she took that championship from Sasha. We haven't seen Sasha since. She's not here tonight either. So Kathy Cool winning ECW, at least temporarily, of Sasha Banks. She's going to want to pick up a victory on her WrestleMania debut. And she swears down that Nene and the rest of Next Gen weren't, you know, with her. She didn't see Next Gen at all last night, so if this attack was at the hands of Nene and Next Gen, Kathy Cool has nothing to do with it. She has no idea what Naomi's talking about here. But along with that, Kathy Cool didn't want to get her hands on Naomi even more, because again, Naomi has been rather disrespectful to the young Liberty champion, $1 million champion, in the past couple of weeks. They call her the great Kathy Cool, the ringleader, the star of the show, and there is no greater show than WrestleMania here in Las Vegas. And it's time to see if Kathy is all that she makes herself out to be, if she is the star of the big show tonight, or if the lights might be a little bit too bright for the ringleader. Because of course, speaking of bright lights, standing across from the ring from her is the Glow.
Introducing the challenger from Orlando, Florida, Naomi. And her opponent from Robbinsdale, Minnesota, the $1 million champion, the Great Kelsey Cook.
Again, not the match we thought 24 hours ago we'd be seeing here tonight, but it's the match we've got. Kathy Cool hands the $1 million championship over to the referee. She has to completely revamp her strategy. Facing off against Naomi as the final match of the pre-show begins now. 79. Now, Naomi stepping into this match. Now, she recently lost to Kathy Cool on TV. So, yeah. That didn't go so well for her, but due to unforeseen circumstances, let's call them, where Shantae was attacked, Naomi claims, by Nene Arizawa of Next Gen. But Kathy says she had nothing to do with that attack, and she didn't attack Shantae. She didn't see Shantae before the match anyway. But as Naomi's gonna go, she finally has Kathy down. She's gonna go up top to hit the split-legged moonsault. We see Shantae on her crutches, you know, start hobbling out from the back, like cheering on her friend. And Naomi sort of looks a bit surprised to see her. She goes, "Oh, what you doing out here, huh? Okay, go on, go rest, and I'll win the championship, and I'll bring it back for us." And then Willow. Shantae is like, "No, I want to be out here. I want to see you win it, Trin. Come on." And then Naomi hits the split-legged moonsault, but Kathy Cool rolls out of the way, and she nails the razzle-dazzle, and Naomi is beaten, and Kathy Cool retains the $1 million championship again. 70 for Kathy, 75 for Naomi. So yeah, Naomi had to step in. No, she didn't earn the opportunity. She's not the number one contender. Shantae Washington is, but you know, Shantae couldn't make it. Need a quick replacement. Naomi stepping in. This is one thing, like, because this championship I didn't really have plans for, like, heading into WrestleMania. I just knew it was going to be Kathy versus somebody for the belt at WrestleMania. I did steal this straight up from, you know, the Bayley and Becky stuff IRL, but it's fine because it's a pre-show match, and, like, you know, you can tell where the story's going rather than it seeming random at the time. But yes, Kathy does defeat Naomi to retain the championship. But Naomi's not very lucky when it comes to wrestling Kathy Cool. Who knows? Maybe third time is the charm, or maybe Naomi's, you know, got to change her whole attitude up to get the better of her. I don't know. Who can say? But yeah, that brings us to the end, the kickoff show for night 2. I'll see you on the other side for the main show.